Welcome, Summoners! It's time to learn about the elemental keywords in Yōkaizō. If you're watching this video and you haven't watched our How to Play video, go watch that first so you'll have an understanding of the different zones and actions in the game. Remember to like and subscribe here on YouTube and on our Instagram. Visit Yōkaizō.com to review these keywords, and join our Discord community to start playing today. Every element in Yōkaizō has a special keyword that highlights that element's mechanical strategies. We'll go through them one by one, explaining each, but their value deepens incredibly in their interactions, so pay close attention to the ways in which you can use them together. Freeze has you rotate cards in the void zones. This turns off their void effects, and frozen cards are destroyed at the end of the round. For example, Freeze 2 would allow you to rotate up to 2 void cards. This allows for a great level of control over your opponent's game plan. Burn has you send face-down cards from the top of your deck to your grave. Each burn card counts as 1 soul value, marching you closer to that 13 soul value loss. But when you basic attack, you can destroy all of these burn cards at once, and each will add 1 to your damage. For example, Burn 2 would allow you to send up to 2 cards from your deck to your grave. Then, when you basic attack for 3 damage, these burn cards can be destroyed to make it 5 damage total. Uproot has you send face-down souls to a listed location. For example, Uproot 1 to your void would allow you to send any of these to your void. This can be a creative way to heal your yokai and potentially trigger effects as cards enter new zones. Quake allows you to choose a number of yokai that will each take 1 break damage. For example, Quake 3 allows you to choose 3 yokai to take 1 break damage each. Usually this results in choosing both enemy yokai and one of your own. Earth yokai sometimes like having damage on themselves, but mostly this is a strategy that pushes the endgame as quickly as possible. Slow allows you to rotate yokai in the field zone. This makes the rotated yokai 1 speed until the end of their next turn. If a yokai is slowed during its turn, you'll continue counting speed tiers normally, but it will be considered 1 speed for calculation purposes. Yokai never get more than 1 turn on a round, so you won't be able to use slow to get extra turns, but you may be able to cheat turns away from your opponent, and speed control is a great way to ensure that you move prior to enemy yokai. Echo allows you to trigger a special effect that says on entry if the target of that echo is in the proper zone. For example, Echo 1 would allow you to trigger this special effect, which starts with on void entry, because the target is in the void. This is a great way to recur effects for combo-heavy playstyles. Shine allows you to search your deck for a card or cards that match active yokai, add them to your hand, and then shuffle your deck. A yokai is active if it's face up in the field, soul, or void zones for either player. For example, Shine 2 would allow a player to search their deck for any of these cards and add them to their hand. This is great for overall card access and simply to review what's in your deck as it dwindles down. Haunt allows you to search your limbo for any cards and send them to the listed location. For example, Haunt 1 to your void would allow you to search your limbo for any 1 card and send it to your void. This is useful for recurring effects, especially when sending those cards to zones where they might trigger on entry. Spin has you shuffle your limbo blindly, then reveal the top card. Spin is always paired with a powerful effect that will or will not trigger based on the result. For example, you may see the following effect. Choose an element and spin your limbo. If correct, damage a yokai by 5, and if not, damage a yokai by 2. Let's say you choose the cosmic element, shuffle your limbo, and a cosmic yokai lands on top. You've succeeded the spin and you can damage a yokai by 5. Cosmic has certain cards that will help you to force spins to a chosen resulting card, making you the master of chaos. Blight has you rotate cards in the soul zones. These rotated cards do nothing until the field yokai they are attached to is banished. At that moment, each blighted card does 1 break damage to the banished yokai's ally. For example, when this yokai, which has 3 blighted souls, is banished, its ally will immediately take 3 break damage. This has the potential to set up big double knockouts, turning the tides very quickly. While not keywords in the conventional sense, there are a few more defined terms that partially align themselves to certain elements. These include the shield, the token, the exile, and the swap. A shield is a face-down card taken from the top of your deck and attached to a field yokai. When that yokai takes damage, each shield is destroyed to take 1 point of damage in its place. Shields must be broken before the yokai takes damage to their soul zone. Shields are a common tactic used by light yokai. A token is a face-down card taken from the top of your deck and placed in your void. These count as typeless, generic void cards. Creating tokens are a great way to ramp your economy and ensure that you have ample payment options for special attacks. Tokens are a common tactic used by water yokai. An exiled card is removed from the play space. Often, exiled cards are sent away but rotated until some trigger occurs. Exiled cards may be returned to the play space by certain effects, so keep them close. Dark yokai tend to exile cards to trigger trap effects that your opponent has to deal with, while Earth yokai tend to exile cards as a means of improving other effects that scale with the number of exiled cards. You may remember the swap effect as part of the return action, one of 3 actions that a yokai can use on their turn. When a yokai swaps, it simply switches places with another yokai. Swaps can happen anywhere, within zones, between them, and even with your hand as the return action. Swaps are a common tactic for wind yokai to trigger entry effects to the void, gain additional turns, and generally increase combo potential. And with that, you know everything you need to know to play Yōkaizō. The card should very easily tell you exactly what it does, but you should start seeing through those cards and into the deep interactions available among them. Go to Yōkaizō.com to review these keywords and terms, enjoy making a custom deck on our official Yōkaizō deck builder, and join our Discord community to share your decks and discuss them with new friends as you begin your journey into the haunting world of Yōkaizō.